Hello and welcome to PoE For Dummies, episode 16. How to make your first 100 chaos in a league. No tricks, no nothing, just sit around in some white maps, collect the gear, don't identify it, put it in your stash, sell it to a vendor, and that's it. It uses one simple method called a vendor recipe. If you're unfamiliar with the vendor recipe system, it's a system that Path of Exile has, which is quite complex if you look at it in all entirety, but if you look at it from specific use cases, it's quite simple. So what we want to do is we want to find chaos orbs, and we want to see what the recipe requires. So for the chaos orb recipe, there's 1, 2, and 3. It requires a full set of gear that's item level between 60 and 74. 60 to 68 could be found in last acts, Act 9 and Act 10, some in Act 8 as well. You can check that by pressing U, clicking the part, let's say Act 9, and you can see area level. So if area level is 61, that means items that drop there are item level 61, at least. So that's one way on how you can find them. So from starting of Act 9 up till tier 5 or 6 maps, that's basically when 75 starts. So you want a full gear set. Now, this is an unidentified recipe that we are chasing, but the current one is for identified recipe. So unidentified recipe requires that we have all items unidentified, or that we have all items with 20% quality. You will never get all the items at 20% quality unless you specifically look for it, so don't bother with it. Just pick up all the unidentified things and that's it. For 3 chaos orbs, that's the same thing, unidentified and 20% quality. That ain't gonna happen. We will focus on number 2, which is 2 chaos orbs for a gear set. I've done a little bit of running through some white maps, and I have collected a full gear set of item level 70 to 73 pieces. So what you need is you need the same gear that you would usually equip. So your headpiece, chest armor, gloves, belt, boots, your added jewelry, 2 rings and a necklace, and one-handed weapon and a shield, or a two-handed weapon. For bows, it's a two-handed bow if it's a big bow, or one-handed bow and one-handed other shield or a quiver, but I don't recommend doing that because sometimes it's iffy and it won't work. So you go to the vendor, you vendor all of these unidentified pieces, and you will get 2 chaos orbs. Now, if one of those pieces is identified, as I will show you in this example, so if one of these pieces is identified, in that case, you won't be able to turn in for 2 chaos orbs, only for 1 chaos orb. So you have to have all the pieces either identified or none of them. That's the best way to do it. One more thing is, if an item that you are vendoring, as an example, I have an extra ring here. Ring is item level 57. If you vendor one of up to 10 items that you are vendoring for the chaos recipe is lower item level, it will change the recipe to this one gives an orb of chance. Because orb of chances are item level of lowest item 1 to 59. Same would go for Regal Orb. If you're chasing Regal Orbs, you would do yellow maps, red maps, you would loot everything, and you would do the same thing. But if you vendor one item that's item level between 60, 74 or 1 to 59, it will change the whole recipe. Now there's a catch. As always in this game, there's one singular catch with everything. And that is, gear slots are easy to find. You will run a map, they're very easy to find. The problem are jewelry. Belts, rings, and an amulet. For that, you can hop on to Alva, and you can pick up Chronicles of Azoatl that are level under 73, including 73, because 73 will drop that item level unless you have a room that increases the item level of drops. That's iffy. I haven't tested that, so I would suggest level 73 maximum for Chronicles of Azoatl. 68, I think, is the minimum. So what you need here, you would right-click a temple, and you would see here that the temple has glittering halls. Glittering halls contains chests full of jewelry. If it's glittering halls 1, that would be... I keep getting lost here. Jeweler's Workshop, that gives you 3 chests. Jewelry Forge gives you 5 chests. And Glittering Halls give you 7 chests. So I bought this temple for 3 chaos. You can buy it between 3 to 5 chaos. It doesn't matter. It seems counterintuitive. You want to earn chaos orbs, but you need to spend some chaos orbs. Yes, but you will go into one of these, and I had enough jewelry to add... I sold the extras. I had extra 4 or 5 belts, 2-3 extra rings, a few more necklaces. So you get a lot. Depending on your rolls, sometimes you get to jewels more than jewelry, but you get the idea. So that's one way of how you can get it. I suggest if you buy a temple, buy a complete temple, run it. Experience is worth it. Items that you drop are definitely worth it, especially if you kill the boss and the boss can drop an ultimatum aspect, which usually at the beginning of the league sells for 40 to 50, 60 chaos, even 70. So there's that. You can drop a good belt, string of servitude, and so on. You can always mix and match, but I think experience for 5 chaos that early in the league is very well worth it. Now, the reason why this is foolproof is you can always run tier 1 to 5 maps. Tier 1 to 5 maps you can always run. You can grab a loot filter that shows you only the rare items. The only thing is there are bases. You don't care about the bases, you care about the slots. So you want like a headpiece and so on, you want to collect them all. Once you do so, vendor, put them in a stash. You don't have to sort them at first. Put them in a stash and then sort them like I did here for a showcase. And then you can just sell them. That's usually how I make my first 50 to 100 chaos in the beginning of the league or whenever I start playing the league. Because usually the items that I need are 5 to 10 chaos a pop for fixing my resistances, buying extra jewels. Maybe I want to get like a 6-linked item. That's what I did. I bought a 6-linked chest piece, this one, at the beginning of 3.22 Ancestor League. I bought this one for 30-40 chaos. I have it as a keepsake. That's basically how you do it. It doesn't take long. The only problem is you have to get out of the map and get in the map a few more times. If you don't want to be bothered by that, just go to Act 10 or Act 9. I suggest Act 9 Quarry. Just go to Quarry, farm the Quarry, and that's basically it. You will always get 2 chaos out of it, and that might help you with the league. So this is a completely basic level guide on how to make your first 100 chaos. For other guides, they may come a little bit later. So if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to post them down in the comments below. I stream on twitch.tv/heavyheels, usually almost every day around 7 to 8 p.m. CET, or when the daylight saving times change, it's CEST. But yes, that will be all for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.